Let's go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Heartland Championship Wrestling. My name is Dave Little, and we're coming to you live from the Dave Cave with action from Patriot Championship Wrestling. Happy Memorial Day to one and all. Thank you to those of you who served, and thank you to everyone who paid the ultimate sacrifice for the benefit of this country. It is good to be back in action here on the channel as we celebrate this Memorial Day with a new look for the Heartland Championship Wrestling setup. Let me know how you like it. As you may know, last week I was out of town at Digital to Dice Con 2025 up in Preston, Connecticut. Dave Gardner, Michael Canistrari put on a great event up there. And one of the feature events was a wrestling tournament brought to you by the Legends of Wrestling. And if you follow the boards, you know that Kevin Steen, managed by my new friend Corey Robeson, picked up the victory in that tournament. He already has a title match in his pocket for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship against the current champion, Pat Patterson, by virtue of Steen's winning the Money in the Bank ladder match. So Steen has been on a roll here of late. One of the acquisitions, probably the major acquisition that I came away with from Digital to Dice Con was this lovely dice tray. Very well put together. John Turnbull from my former home of Dayton, Ohio, put these together. And I was able to pick one of these up, and I sound funny, according to Neil Lau. So let me know, folks, if I sound funny. I have my usual microphone set up. I can put a little closer to the mouth if need be. We'll give that a try. Thank you for the sound check, and anybody else with a sound check, if you're having trouble, please say the word. And yeah, this is a very nice dice tray. It is padded, so the dice roll well, but the rounded dice do spin, so I'm going to be switching to square dice for the Digital to Dice Con dice tray. And then, now Dave says I sound terrible. Well, let's see. I've got the microphone plugged in. I'm a little fuzzy, so I don't have any technical know-how to contribute to this at all. Let's try this. How do we sound now? Let's try this. For some reason, my OBS was set on the laptop mic instead of the tabletop mic, so I should sound better now as my voice is being transmitted through the good microphone. So let's give that a try. Updates from anybody now that I have switched microphones. Let's see if that sounds any better. And while we're at it, we'll welcome everybody to the chat. Bear805, Neil Lau, David Cheslinski, Michael Brada, and Dave Gardner, all in the chat room. Now I am clear but quiet, so let me boost up the volume. And now how are we doing? I have boosted the volume on my OBS and hereby expended all of my technical expertise. So if this don't work, I got nothing left for you. But anyhow, yeah, Dave Gardner is here. It's great to see you, Dave, and love the Digital to Dice Con. What a great event that was, a great wrestling tournament, and a new dice tray. And we are going to kick things off. It is Patriot Championship Wrestling. It is live from the Boston Garden. Our main event will be a rematch for the Patriot Heavyweight Championship as the new champion, Ed Strangler Lewis, defends against the former champion superstar Billy Graham, accompanied as always by the Grand Wizard of Wrestling. Clear and better. I need a tad more volume. Okay, we will bump that up to the max and pull the microphone a little bit closer and see if that gives us the volume that we need so that nobody has to miss a thing here in Heartland Championship Wrestling. The other thing about this dice tray is that the edges are pretty high, so that's going to mix up the view here a little bit. So we'll have to play with this, and if we need to go back to the old dice tray, we will. But I could not resist showing off this beautiful piece of work. Thanks to John Turnbull for putting this together. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our opening contest is scheduled for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. This is a standard tag team contest. Introducing first, team number 1, collectively known as the Body Donnas. Introducing first. He stands at 5'10", weighs 225 pounds, out of Houston, Texas. This is the Dr. Tom Pritchard. And his tag team partner hails from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, standing at 5'8", weighing 227 pounds. This is Chris Candido. So Candido and Pritchard had a successful, I don't know about successful, but memorable tag team run in the WWE as the Body Donnas, accompanied by their manager, Sonny, also known as Skip and Zip at the time. Have teamed up here in Patriot Championship Wrestling, and they will take on one of the most popular teams in the history of this industry. At a total combined weight of 450 pounds, out of Memphis, Tennessee, it is Robert Gibson and Ricky Morton, the Rock and Roll Express. So the Rock and Roll Express set to take on the Body Donnas here in our opening televised matchup. And it will be Robert Gibson starting things off for his team against the Dr. Tom Pritchard as we start things off here in Boston. And it will be Tom Pritchard taking the initiative. And it is Pritchard who comes immediately with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Robert Gibson, and on a roll of 7, that is the drop down and the bounce back. And on a roll of 5, it is a running shoulder tackle delivered by Robert Gibson that puts Tom Pritchard on the canvas. Gibson now in control, going with a big haymaker. And Tom Pritchard blocks the haymaker and fires right back with a series of brawling punches of his own, wailing away on Robert Gibson. Gibson stands his ground and fires right back with a back elbow smash. And Tom Pritchard is going to try right away to make a tag to his partner. Cannot get there. Robert Gibson in control and ready to do some damage. And he is going to go for a flying head scissors. This is a choice C maneuver. Choice C. He will need a roll of 9 or lower to complete this move with a level 2 effectiveness. And he gets it done. And Tom Pritchard is once again down. And Ricky Morton is going to hit the ring for a possible double team. But on a roll of 11, that is a botch as Gibson and Morton collide. And that opens the door for Tom Pritchard to take over on offense. And Tom Pritchard with a big body slam on Robert Gibson. Gibson is down, cannot make the tag. Candido tags in and takes over on offense against Robert Gibson with a diving headbutt. Gibson crawling over desperately trying to get that tag and is unable to do so as Candido maintains control, and he now is going to go up for a death jump. Death jump to be attempted by Chris Candido, and on a roll of 7, it is a missile dropkick that Chris Candido nails. He got all of that one, and Robert Gibson is down. Candido now going for a top rope Hurricane Rana, and that takes Robert Gibson out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And here we go. On a roll of 3, it is Robert Gibson winning the brawl on the arena floor with an Irish whip into the barricade. Candido crashing hard. Returning to the ring now, Gibson will tag in Ricky Morton for his first legal action in this match. And it is Gibson who is going to go right up to the top rope and attempt a death jump. And on a roll of 4, that is going to be bad news for Ricky Morton as Candido catches him and throws Ricky Morton down to the canvas hard. Morton is down, and Candido now with a chance to do some damage. He goes for that top rope Hurricane Rana and takes Ricky Morton back over to the canvas. Tag back into Tom Pritchard. Tom Pritchard coming in with a big drop kick. And that puts Ricky Morton on his keister. Morton crawling over to make the tag to partner Robert Gibson, and the match carries on. Two very well coordinated tag teams here. And Gibson coming in with a drop toe hold, taking Pritchard down to the mat. Pritchard not able to make the tag. Gibson maintains control with a big knee lift that stuns Tom Pritchard. Pritchard getting to his feet and scoring with a kick to the midsection as Gibson was coming in. And Gibson is going to fire right back with an attempt at a hip toss. That's blocked by Tom Pritchard. And Pritchard instead follows with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Robert Gibson. And on a roll of 9, it is a big kick delivered by Tom Pritchard. That stuns Robert Gibson. Pritchard now in control. Pritchard going for another big body slam. Gibson slow to get to his feet, and now we're going to see Chris Candido hit the ring for a possible double team, and another botch, as now it is Candido and Pritchard who collide, and that's going to open the door for Robert Gibson to take over on offense. And Gibson has Pritchard down and gets him into a spinning toe hold. Pritchard quick to get to the corner of the ring to break that up. And for his troubles, Robert Gibson nails him with a big haymaker right between the eyes. Gibson now back in control with another big haymaker, and this one puts Pritchard down. Pritchard is down. What's Gibson going to do here? He's got Ricky Morton in the ring, and they're going for the double drop kick. This is a +3 finisher. The pin roll here is 6. Candido will attempt the pin save, and on a roll of 7, he can't get there. Will we see the victory here for Pritchard? On a roll of 7, Pritchard barely able to kick out. Wow, that was a close call for Skip and Zip, as Pritchard just barely kicked out of that one. Ricky Morton, now your legal man in the ring with a punch coming off of the top rope that stuns Tom Pritchard. Morton now with a whip to the turnbuckle. Pritchard coming off the turnbuckle. And now they both go for the big specialty move, and it is Gibson, the wrestler on offense, who comes away in control, hitting that big clothesline coming off of the turnbuckle. And now we're going to see the double drop kick again. And again, Candido unable to make the save. The pin roll now is 7 or lower, and on a roll of 6, they got him. Flawless victory for Morton and Gibson, as Tom Pritchard eats the double drop kick and takes the pinfall. So congratulations to the Rock and Roll Express. The fans here in Boston are loving it. Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, one of the most exciting teams in the annals of wrestling, getting the victory here tonight, much to the delight of the fans in Boston. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, it is our first championship match of the evening. The following contest is scheduled for one fall to a finish with no disqualification. This match is for the North American Heavyweight Championship. All North American Heavyweight Championship matches are conducted under no disqualification rules. Introducing first the challenger out of Kansas City, Missouri. Standing at 6'1" and weighing 268 pounds, this is Harley Race. And his opponent is your reigning and defending North American Heavyweight Champion out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Standing at 6'2", weighing 237 pounds, he is the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. All right, this should be a great match as Angle is set to defend against Harley Race. Kurt Angle had a good weekend last weekend at DigitalToDice.com, made it all the way to the finals of the tournament before falling prey to Kevin Steen and the package pile driver. So a good run for Kurt Angle, managed, I believe, by Derek Jones, my new friend from DigitalToDice.com. And a Pittsburgher in his own right. Is it Pittsburgher, Pittsburghian, Pittsburgh native? That's what we'll call him. And now we're going to have championship dice in effect. I've got the silver and the gold going for this, the square dice. And hopefully these will be easy to see. If not, then please let me know, and we'll try to find a new higher contrast set of square-sided championship dice. And it will be Harley Race winning the opening initiative roll. And Harley Race comes right out with a swinging neck breaker. Wow, right off of the opening lockup. Harley Race outmaneuvers Kurt Angle and just dumps him on the back of his neck. And that is not going to feel good on the neck of Kurt Angle. Harley Race follows that up. He is going to attempt a forearm slug. He'll need 6 or lower to hit that, and he nails it. And Kurt Angle is hurt. Backing away as Harley Race now comes with the Indian Deathlock. Harley Race is going right for it, right off of the get-go. Harley Race has got a Indian Deathlock on Kurt Angle. He's down, and now Harley Race is going to go for a big backbreaker across the knee. Again, working the back and neck of Kurt Angle. Harley Race remains in control. Here is a whip to the turnbuckle. Cleveland baseball fan 879, welcome. That works with the gold and the gray, says Cleveland baseball fan Todd. Thank you for that. Or no, it's Tim. It's Tim. And now it is Harley Race in control with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Kurt Angle, and on a roll of 9, it is a big kick from Harley Race that stuns Kurt Angle. Race all on offense so far here. Whipped to the ropes by Harley Race. And on a roll of 6, it is Kurt Angle with a running shoulder tackle off of the buckle. And he'll get on the offense now for the first time. And it is a body scissors sleeper combination executed by Kurt Angle. Harley Race powers his way out of that one, and Angle stuns him with a European uppercut. Angle follows that up now with a big backbreaker down across the knee. Kurt Angle and Harley Race, 2 of the technical wizards of the sport of wrestling, but Angle is going to clock Harley Race with another European uppercut. I don't know if that's the tactic that Angle wants to take, because few men can roughhouse with Harley Race. And now Angle going back to the body scissors and sleeper combination, perhaps to have some more ability to wear down Angle to wear down Race here as he keeps that hold in place. And tries to weaken the bigger challenger out of Kansas City. And now we've got Kurt Angle going again for the backbreaker, and Harley Race again getting back to his feet. Race, a double tough individual, will not stay down as he tries to go back to the body scissors and sleeper, and this time Race on the reversal with another whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Kurt Angle, and again it is a big kick from Harley Race that stuns Kurt Angle. Race follows that up with yet another whip to the turnbuckle, working the corners of the ring, and this time it is reversed by Kurt Angle. And it's Harley Race going into the corner and eating a big kick from Kurt Angle. Angle back in control now with another backbreaker, and Harley Race again getting back to his feet, will not stay down. And again reversing Angle's takedown attempt. And Harley Race this time with another swinging neck breaker. He's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here will be Snake Eyes, and on a roll of 4, Angle kicks out from the spinning neck breaker. Harley Race now in control with a chance to do some damage, and he is going to go. He's thinking about going up for a death jump. Angle is a death jump A. But Harley Race also has a mechanic where he can hit a diving headbutt finisher from here. So Race is going to go for broke. Title's on the line. On a roll of 10 to 12, Harley can hit his diving headbutt, and he will not. Instead, we're going to go to the standard death jump chart. And on a roll of 8, it is Harley Race coming off with a flying clothesline off of the top turnbuckle that puts Angle back down to the mat. Now we've got a shoulder breaker attempt. This is a choice F maneuver, choice F, so he'll need a 5 or lower to complete that. And he is blocked on the shoulder breaker attempt by Angle. And Angle instead goes back to the body scissors and takes Harley Race back down to the canvas. Working that body scissors now up for a backbreaker. And again, Harley Race will not stay down. A snap suplex, both men getting to their feet. Angle now with another attempt at a takedown. Race blocks that, and Race comes back with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Kurt Angle, and on a roll of 5, it is Angle with a big shoulder block that puts Race back down onto the canvas. Back and forth we go, and Angle with another double leg takedown into a Harley. Race gets back to his feet, and Angle whips him into the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Harley Race, and on a roll of 10, it is Angle hitting a big overhead German suplex coming off of the turnbuckle, and that finally puts Harley Race down. Angle now with a chance to do some damage. He is going to go for the Olympic Slam. That is a 0 finisher. There will be a pin roll here on Snake Eyes. And on a roll of 9, Harley Race able to kick out. Good match here between these two men. Angle now back in control, going for a second Olympic Slam. The pin roll now is 3. And on a roll of 7, Harley Race again able to kick out. Angle maintaining control, and now he's going for the ankle lock. It's going to be a 0 finisher. The finisher roll here will be 4. And on a roll of 9, Harley Race is able to survive. But as we know with Angle's ankle lock, every time he applies it, he does more damage. So the next time he applies the ankle lock, it will be a +1 finisher. Angle still in control. And now he is going to go up for a death jump of his own. Not his usual MO, but he goes up there, and on a roll of 11, he nails a perfect cross-body block onto Harley Race and goes for the cover. The pin roll now is 5 or lower, and on a roll of 11, Harley Race kicks out. But Angle has taken control of this one, and Angle now is going to go back to the ankle lock. It is a +1 finisher. The submission roll now 7, and on a roll of 10, Harley Race survives yet again. Phillips Reynolds is here and admiring the Digital Dice Con dice tray, as Angle now is back in control, and the ankle lock now becomes a +2 finisher, and he is going to go for a moonsault, is Kurt Angle. This is a choice E maneuver. Choice E for the moonsault. He'll need a roll of 9 or lower to hit the moonsault, and he nails it on a roll of 9. He's going to go once again for the cover. The pin roll here is 7. And on a roll of 5, he got him. So Kurt Angle tried twice with the ankle lock and could not get Race to submit. Then he went to the moonsault. And that's the move that got the job done. So congratulations to Kurt Angle for a successful defense of the North American Heavyweight Championship against a very tough competitor indeed in Harley Race. So Kurt Angle, your winner. Looks like the D2D Con was a success. Welcome, Salvador, America. Indeed, it was a success. Good time was had. Gosh, what all did I do at Digital Dice Con? Friday night, played a bunch of non-sports games with Dave Gardner and friends. There was a very, very old auto racing game from, I believe, 1961 that we played. We played a word game. We played a prison break game. And just had all kinds of fun on Friday night. I think through the course of Saturday and Sunday, I played 3 different baseball games, all of which I enjoyed. On Deck Baseball, History Maker Express, and High Leverage Baseball were all featured at the digitaldice.com. Played shootout hockey. Dave Gardner and Ray Barrett showed off shootout hockey, which I enjoyed. John Turnbull showed off a couple of his new games, hockey and football, from Powder Blue Sports. And it was John Turnbull, in case you missed it, who produced these digitaldice.com dice trays. I got to have my first meeting with Dave Cook from Action PC Sports, and actually played some Action PC college football on the airplane. Keith Avalone from Play Games was there, and I got to have a conversation with him. James Cast from the Tabletop Sportscast had a conversation with him. Mike in the Truck showed off his family football game and the variation called Ref Ball. Had a lot of fun with those games, and just a great time. Looking forward to Play.con at the end of June in Denver. So those of you who are headed out to PlayCon, and yeah, Dave Gardner points out I won a raffle too, won Solitaire Pro Football, and have been getting that out. I cut the fast action cards and the play cards for Solitaire Pro Football. I'll probably be checking that out later on this evening. Salvador, America, right next door in Western Mass now. Hopefully next year. Dave Gardner definitely thinking about another Digital to Dice Con in 2026. And we'll see if Kevin Steen shows up to defend his Digital to Dice Con Heavyweight Championship title. All right. And with that, we are ready for moving on to our next match, our grudge match of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a no disqualification grudge match and will be conducted, not surprisingly, under no disqualification rules. Introducing first out of Buzzard Creek, Oregon, standing at 6'4", weighing 325 pounds, a former WWF World Heavyweight Champion, Stan the Man Stasiak. And his opponent hails from Melbourne, Australia, standing at 5'7", weighing 214 pounds. This is superstar Bill Dundee. Bill Dundee, what he lacks in size, he makes up in grit. And he's going to need all the grit he can get against a man over 100 pounds taller, or over 100 pounds heavier, and a good 9 inches taller. So Dundee and Stasiak got into it in tag team competition. This grudge match was scheduled, and Bill Dundee is ready to see if he can take down the big man. But it is Stasiak who wins the opening initiative role, and it is Stasiak who attempts a running boot, and Bill Dundee dodges that. That's an agility move, and Dundee, obviously the more agile of these two men. Stasiak, of course, the stronger. Here's a double foot stomp from Bill Dundee that backs Stasiak off. Dundee follows that up with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Stan Stasiak, and on a roll of 4, it is going to be Bill Dundee setting for a back body drop a little too soon. Stasiak stops in his tracks and dumps Bill Dundee with a DDT. Down goes Dundee. Stasiak in control now with a grinding 20 count headlock. Going to try and force Dundee to give it up right here in the center of the ring. How humiliating will that be? The submission roll is on a 3 or lower. And on a roll of 6, Dundee able to survive. But Stasiak has those bully techniques going, those getting that bullying done, and he is now going to pitch Bill Dundee out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Dundee on the arena floor is going to be attacked by Stasiak, and Stasiak with a diving clothesline off of the ring apron is going to take Dundee back down to the floor, and Dundee is hurting. Back to the center of the ring. Here's that headlock applied once again by Stan Stasiak. Just trying to weaken and humiliate Bill Dundee. Dundee trying to fight his way out of it, and Stasiak just scores with a big uppercut to the jaw that puts Dundee back down on the canvas. What is Stasiak going to do now? A high vertical suplex down to the canvas. Hard goes Dundee. Stasiak with a lackadaisical cover. Dundee kicks out of that. And Stasiak just laughing at the smaller man as this grudge match carries on. And now it's going to be the heart punch. The heart punch delivered. That is a +3 finisher and a deadly one. And he connects on the heart punch. And the pin roll now is going to be 8 or lower. And on a roll of 11, Dundee somehow kicks out of the heart punch and manages to survive. Stan Stasiak stunned at that. And Stasiak goes back to that high suplex. And now it is Dundee who is going to roll out of the ring and down to the arena floor with Stasiak in pursuit. And once again, Stasiak is going to win the brawl and just ram the back of Bill Dundee into the ring apron. Dundee taking more and more punishment. And now Stasiak is going to try the heart punch again. And this time he connects once again. The pin roll now is 9 or lower. And on a roll of 4, that's all she wrote for superstar Bill Dundee. So Stan, the man Stasiak, puts away superstar Bill Dundee with a heart punch. And Dundee showed a lot of heart in that match, but it didn't do him any good in the end, as Stasiak by far the better man in that contest. As we record our bolts, and that time it was indeed Goliath picking up the victory over David by the estimation of Salvador America. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our main event of the evening. And this is a big one. Such a big one, in fact, that I'm going to grab a drink before we get started with this. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, Diet Mountain Dew in hand, and we are ready for anything. And it is time for the main event of the evening. The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Disqualification rules will be in effect in this 60-minute time limit matchup. This matchup is for the Patriot Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first the challenger. Out of Paradise Valley, Arizona, he is accompanied to the ring by the Grand Wizard of Wrestling. Standing at 6'4", weighing 275 pounds. He is a 5-time former Patriot Heavyweight Champion. This is the superstar Billy Graham. And his opponent is your reigning and defending Patriot Heavyweight Champion out of Louisville, Kentucky. Standing at 5'10" and weighing 236 pounds. This is the man they call the Strangler, Ed Lewis. So these two have had a storied rivalry. Lewis himself now a 4-time Patriot Heavyweight Champion, and attempting to extend his reign tonight here in Boston against the awesome physical specimen, superstar Billy Graham. It's the Strangler's headlock versus the superstar bear hug. It is power versus power. And it is one of the ongoing rivalries in the history of Heartland Championship Wrestling. The two men come together in the center of the ring. No words are exchanged. They stare each other down. And the opening initiative role is won by Billy Graham. And it is Billy Graham who is going to start things off with a running shoulder tackle that takes Ed Lewis down to the mat. Superstar is on him and just tosses him across the ring and flexes over him. Superstar Billy Graham, excuse me, making a statement early in this match, and now Graham is just going to kick and stomp and kick and stomp on Strangler Lewis in the corner. A show of contempt by superstar Billy Graham. Lewis struggling to get back to his feet. And now Graham's got him up to his feet. And Graham is going to attempt an elbow drop to the head. And Strangler Lewis able to avoid that. And Strangler Lewis instead comes back with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes superstar Billy Graham. And on a roll of 4, Lewis sets his head too soon. we saw Bill Dundee make that same mistake, and this time it is Graham who picks Ed Lewis up and dumps him with a pile driver right in the center of the ring. Lewis is hurt by that, and he is down. And now Billy Graham is going to throw caution to the wind, and he's going right up for a death jump off of the top rope. But on a roll of 5, it is Ed Lewis who catches Strangler Lewis and throws him down off of the top rope, and he hits the canvas hard. Billy Graham is down, and Ed Lewis is now in control, and now he's got the headlock. Strangler's headlock applied. It's a 0 finisher, and Billy Graham only with a pin rating of 1, so there will be no submission roll. But Lewis, and if you've not played with Ed Lewis's card, he's got the Strangler's headlock 0 finisher on 4, 5, and 6. So he is tenacious with the Strangler's headlock, and now he's got it cinched in again, and the submission rule will be snake eyes. There will be no submission, but another point of fatigue is added to Billy Graham, and Lewis continues to torture the challenger with the headlock, and now he's got it again. The headlock still in place. The submission roll now 3 or lower, and on a roll of 10, superstar Billy Graham able to make his way free. Will Lewis go for the headlock again? Yes, he does, and now we're going to see some shenanigans from the Grand Wizard of Wrestling at ringside. We go to the manager interference chart, as Graham has been trapped in that Strangler's headlock, and it's time for Superstar to call upon the Grand Wizard. And on a roll of 6, it is the Grand Wizard jumping up onto the ring apron, distracting the referee, forcing the hold to be broken. There will be a disqualification on a roll of 3 or lower. And on a roll of 4, wow, he didn't get disqualified, but that's that. And he is ushered off of the ring apron. Graham taking another point of fatigue. Ed Lewis remaining in control of this match. Kathy Evans at ringside just in time for tonight's main event. Strangler Ed Lewis is torturing Billy Graham with that Strangler's headlock. And now he is going to go for a bear hug power bomb. This is a choice E maneuver. So Lewis unable to regain the headlock after the distraction posed by the Grand Wizard of Wrestling. Lewis going to have to resort to a bear hug power bomb. This is a choice E maneuver. He'll need a roll of 10 or lower to successfully execute it, and he got him up, over, and down to the canvas hard. And Billy Graham is now going to roll out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And that is to the liking of both these men. Both these men are A-rated brawlers. And on a roll of 7, that's the best man wins roll. And in this case, with the scores tied, the restaurant offense, Ed Strangler Lewis, takes the advantage and wins the brawl on the arena floor and slams the head of superstar Billy Graham into the ring post. Billy Graham has been stunned. Back in the center of the ring, the headlock is applied once again. The submission roll now is 5 or lower. And on a roll of 12, Billy Graham able to survive. How much longer can he withstand the power of the Strangler's headlock? Now he's going for that bear hug power bomb once again. Once again, he nails the bear hug power bomb, and again, Graham rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Superstar Billy Graham doing anything he can to survive. And on a roll of 4, it is superstar Billy Graham with an Irish whip into the ring steps. And Lewis crashes hard into the ring steps. Superstar Billy Graham now in control, and he is going to keep action out of the ring and on the arena floor. We'll not see any shenanigans yet, but on a roll of 11, it is Graham with a brutal move on the arena floor. He's going to go to the foreign object. Superstar Billy Graham has just hit Ed Lewis with a trash can. How about that? Ed Lewis clocked with a trash can. Will we see a disqualification here, perhaps? And yes, we will. We have just seen a disqualification. Superstar Billy Graham has been disqualified after hitting Ed Lewis on the arena floor with a trash can. Grand Wizard of Wrestling is disputing that call, but this is a championship match, and Ed Lewis is your reigning and defending champion, and he has just won that match by a DQ after a trash can. But Graham was in desperate straits there. He hadn't done a single thing to do any damage to Lewis, and he was suffering from multiple effects of the Strangler's headlock. Ooh, and Neil Lau has just called that a squash match, and Superstar Billy Graham ain't going to like that one little bit. He ain't no squash match guy. In fact, we're going to go to our disqualification chart and see what, if any, shenanigans might take place, as the foreign object has been used by Billy Graham. And on the disqualification table, a roll of 8, and Superstar Billy Graham is going to continue his attack. The attack continues by Superstar Billy Graham on Ed Lewis after the decision. And now we are going to have a pull-apart brawl between these two men, and we go to the gut check. But Superstar Billy Graham severely weakened on the gut check roll, and it's going to be Lewis who wins the brawl and sends Superstar Billy Graham back to the dressing room in defeat. So good for Strangler Ed Lewis. Wins the brawl over Billy Graham, wins the match with the Strangler's headlock, wins by DQ, survives a shot from the trash can. And Ed Lewis is your winner, and survives the post-match brawl as well. So congratulations to this man, the Strangler Ed Lewis. Your successfully retaining the Patriot Heavyweight Championship here tonight in Boston. All right, thank you to everybody who checked things out tonight. Kathy Evans, Neil Lau, Salvador America, Dave Gardner, Philip Reynolds, Cleveland Baseball Fan 879, Michael Brada, Bear 805, David Cheslinski. Thank you one and all for checking things out tonight here in Boston. Once again, happy Memorial Day to one and all. That's our stream, and I am out of here.